Hey, what's up guys? I'm Wixie. I'm a Challenger 80 carry main, and today, or in recent days, I got a message in my Twitch chat about a guy asking to do like an educational YouTube video on laning positioning and trading in general. I think it's hard to generalize that in bot lane when there's like four different champions in every game. But I'll just generalize it for now to this video on ranged versus ranged matchup, where all four players in the bot lane are ranged characters. And today I'm going to have an example from Caitlyn Lux versus Lucianami. First off, um, one thing I do like to prioritize when I am playing these range versus range matchups is the range. You know what I mean? Who has the longer range and who's shorter ranged? And if that person is shorter ranged, what advantages do they gain for being short range? Example, like a dash like Lucian, or a lot of burst like Lucian does with this kit. Um, Same thing with Nami. She's shorter range than Lux. But what does she provide? She provides sustain and healing for these trades, whereas Lux lacks that sustain. So you always have to kind of weigh like what advantages each side has. Considering me and Lux both have more range in this matchup, we should be anticipated to get push, since we have first touch on the wave, considering we have more range, and we have more like avenues to poke the enemy bot lane with our extra range, right? So here, like the prime example, we're gonna get poke out Lucian here with our first spells. You know, already have a good chunk without even having to interact with him. He's quite short ranged. Plus, he is level 1, so he has no dash or any way to close this large range discrepancy. He just starts W and tries to land some poke on us with it. As you can see here, getting some poke on Lux, but we're doing a good job holding the third bush. By now, we have secured our push, so we're going to just slightly slow push the wave so we don't crash too fast. And we have more avenues to deny, slightly dying melee minions like this one over here. Sorry, I'm using this sort of pen thing for like the first time. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, like you want to sort of deny minions like this one, maybe even like this one, whichever ones like get really low. Um, Through the process of slow pushing. Um, because yeah, like in the end, like Lucian will lose this melee. Does he? Yes, he loses the melee, and he's still getting hit by Lux Poke at this point, right? Here we are crashing a big wave. We're still going to look to crash this wave since these caster minions haven't crashed yet. And in this whole process, we're just going to try to look for poke like this. I'm going to look to Q on the wave on cooldown, like so. In a few seconds, I will be looking to Q. Yep, boom. It's always best to try to get value with your spells by hitting the wave and also hitting the enemy champion. You don't always just want to aim for Lucian. You kind of want to get this wave in. And the reason why is because in these range matchups, getting the waves crash onto the enemy turret is a great winning standpoint in the lane, because while Lucian has to farm um, the minions, we can go get a ward right now to keep pushing and to like not get punished by the enemy jungler. That's the number one priority. Vision, and then after that, see we get the wave crashed in here, ping the ward and ward it there. Also, this is like a champion skew game. It's the new season. That's why the map looks kind of different, but same thing. And here we're going to look to continue to have our pressure up and hold push onto this next wave. And by doing that, I'm going to start setting up some traps, like one here in this corner, and I'm going to look to cue the wave while also poking the enemy Nami. Same thing that Lux is doing. We're both just securing this push and trying to get this wave under their turret. I don't even care about using my extra attack range to sort of like poke Lucian out here. I want this wave under his turret, because then I can weave autos on top of him while he's farming minions. And so while he's distracted, right now he's not very distracted, none of these minions are lethal, he can trade back. And I do not want to give him those avenues to trade because I have no sustain compared to him, right? So watch as I once again speed up the process. Oh, missing a silly little minion there. Just prioritizing the wave. I don't care if I hit him with that Q. I just want to hit the wave and potentially hit him in the process, right? And here you'll see a big example as to why. Look, he's looking to farm the caster minions here, but see, we're forcing his dash in situations like this, making it uncomfortable for him to like farm and shit like that. And now, weaving more autos, get a Lux Bind, and force his cleanse. We're slowly forcing their conditions in these kind of lanes by just keeping the push up, having that ward, having the vision there, because Think about it. If you never got this ward, you're getting ganked by jungle, and all that you've done is for nothing. And we're just gonna keep pushing our lead, keep pushing our advantages. And just one little like example or one little way to simplify this, I like looking at like bot lanes or certain matchups as like circles. I visualize the lane in circles a lot of the times, and one thing that helps me visualize that is by spamming A click or spamming A. I do it sometimes when I'm just farming casually. I'm just pressing A. You'll see it in like maybe a second or so. If I don't do it here, I'll probably do it in the next wave. Yep, here, the random A's, the random A's. The reason why I do that is because I want to keep visualizing my range, my auto attack range. I want to see how much more like of an advantage I have on Lucian, um, like in this current state, or just so I can like space perfectly when I do this. Um, so since I have my own example or my own A to check my own range, I don't have an A or an example to check Lucian or Nami's range. I just have to kind of like memorize it or know it by playing those champions. But let's just give it a little bit of an example. Lucian's range would be sort of like this. I'm kind of bad at drawing circles, don't mind me. It's slightly smaller, maybe a little bigger like around here, but it's nowhere near as large as mine. Um, Lux, her auto attack range is sort of similar to Lucian's when it comes to it being not that large, but her circle, Lux's circle, is around this freaking size. Sorry for making it the same color, it's kind of confusing. But Lux's circle is around this freaking size because of her skill shot trajectory, or her skill shot range. Her E can reach all the way, like even past this sort of range, based on the distance she throws it. Same with her Q. But you have to think, those aren't point and clicks. Those are dodgeable. These auto attacks are not dodgeable. So the circle that comes with auto attacks are always more like potent than the ones that come with skill shots, right? And also if you take account for my Q range, you may say like my range is like up to here, you know what I mean? All the way up to here. And so Lucian is always in sort of threat range of taking poke. Meanwhile, his range is like that small amount of circle plus a slight dash range. Um, that we have to be prepared for. So I'm always holding my net to keep him at bay, right? So yeah, always imagine bot lane in like threat circles and how far you can reach to damage the enemy champion or the enemy wave, so you can crash it and keep harassing, right? So let's keep watching what happens here. We're getting free poke off. Lucian's forced to dash away so he doesn't take too much damage. He knows that if he dashes in, I'll net in response and I'll keep him at bay. It's all going properly. Nice Q poke from mid through the wave. He's running out of conditions slowly. He's running out of mana. They're running out of HP. Here we go for another ward refresh timer. I'm getting one on Tribush in case the enemy jungler goes for a big loop around. And always just ward. Riot gave you free wards, so just spam them whenever you crash your wave. Um, Especially if you don't have one, right? Here, Lushinami, they're gonna try to like finally retaliate, push their wave out, but since their conditions are already so poor, we're just going to keep threatening. We're just going to keep using our range advantage, and we're just going to keep using our minion wave advantage to push this down and keep securing the push, which is always going to win this lane slowly. There's no big mechanical outplays. It's just us pushing and them, taking it, taking our damage, taking our pressure, and eventually they're going to crack. Keep watching, keep watching. Obviously, you want to get the plates as much as possible. I don't really want to sacrifice my HP and get chunked while hitting turret, so prioritizing just trading him under turret and, getting these minions under turret. Yep, he has to use dash again. Keep pushing, keep pushing. See how we're always past the halfway point? We never want to be on our side of the turret. We don't want to freeze. We don't want to let them slow push in us because we don't want to be under our turrets getting poked, and we don't want to focus on farming when we could be hitting them instead, right? So we keep pushing, and eventually someone slips. And this is a high challenge. This is professional players in the enemy team. Eventually, one of these angles is going to land, and then it secures us a free kill here. Sucks that I walked in the bubble. But yeah, Nami dies. We get that lead in our bot lane because someone finally gets hit by a volatile skill that ends their life. And by the end of the lane, we're around like 15 CS up and a kill up. And that's sort of like how we played this sort of matchup. I'm going to give you another example, kind of on the Lucian side, when you don't have to push in these sort of range matchups. Or more so, like, you're not really against much poke, but more like all-in / pushing double range matchups. So this game, I'm Lucian Yumi versus Zeri Lulu. They clearly have the advantage level 1, considering Zeri has like a lethal tempo in her kit, and Lulu, she's Lulu. She's gonna gat you down with her glitter lance and her auto attacks. So I don't want to give them the all-in angles. I want to just poke them with Yumi Q and my W from long distance. You saw back there that I got a nice chunk on Zeri, and that's an amazing way to start the lane before the minions have even come. And I also want to walk with the wave because I want the minions to be able to attack Lulu if she starts, whacking me with her autos. Here we go. Lulu has no confidence to auto me here because she'll tank the aggro of the wave, so she Qs me and backs up to the next bush. Very smart by Lulu. I'm going to look to weave autos on her, but she breaks vision on me. This is a good example of like good Lulu gameplay, using the bush to your advantage and disconnecting vision so you can cancel the autos of the enemy champion and hit back like this. They hit back my Yumi, we slightly lose that trade, but the lane is still playable. Lulu's going to push up to the next bush because she knows she's stronger, and I'm going to try to just get my minions and conserve my HP, considering I know I don't win, and they will be getting the push, right? So eventually, we throw some Yumi Qs out, I throw some Lucian Ws out, play for poke. I should kind of save my W to farm, considering I'm getting zoned pretty hard, but no minions are kind of dying right now, except that one, which sucks. But, this is not the best conditions. Yumi has lost quite a bit of HP, but I'm going to show you where we really, can play the game. And usually, when you're getting pushed into a turret, when you don't have push against the enemy bot lane, you kind of want to play for the bounce back. The bounce back, in like, to simplify that term, is when you start building a new wave under your turret. Enemy bot lane use this timer. They could have used it to ward. They could have used it to like, back up. But they use this timer to just base and get like an item advantage. Sorry for watching top lane. My map awareness is pretty nice here. But here, this is the bounce back because now we're gonna have spells. I'm gonna have my dash. I'm gonna have my Q once I turn level 3 on this melee minion. And now, once our wave starts slow pushing into them, we're gonna have a massive wave here building right here, this wave, and we're going to want to fight on it. Reason being is because the enemy team does not want to like contest us when we have so much minions behind us, and we can fight back with a big wave with us. And plus, I'm level 3 to their level 2, so I want to use that advantage. Enemy bot lane shows up. They're going to try to thin it out because they don't want to like deal with such a massive wave when they fight us. And I'm going to look to get a dash trade on here pretty soon. Boom. Their wave is upcoming, so I don't really want to dash in right now. They try fighting us here. We chunk Lulu, right? We get a decent chunk on her. Now, we can stay. We can keep fighting. Lulu takes another Yumi Q. And now we can kind of like fight back and contest the push. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Trading through the wave. Boom, boom, boom. See, these trades are super advantageous for us because now we have spells. And since I'm Lucian with spells, boom. Lulu basically has to recall now. Bot lane conditions are terrible. We start building a wave towards them. They feel in danger now. Like, I have a biscuit. I can technically really kill Lulu here. Enemy team has to, like, sort of concede because of the advantage that we got when we pushed out. And now, they lose a wave. They lose a wave because of our laning on the bounce back and how strong we were. Oh, Zeri stayed, but Lulu loses a wave, and we're up like an entire wave in this lane. So, even though in certain examples where you do lose the push early game, like this, once you have spells, you can fight back. That's how balanced League is as a game. It doesn't matter if you get like shit on level 1, level 2. Your champ might even scale to level 6. It might take you multiple levels to be able to fight back truly. But as Lucian, once you have your 3 spells, you can kind of burst the enemy team, fight back, and do stuff to this Lulu, leave her at this HP. I wish I could have showed you guys a VOD in which, we turn back and kill them. But, this is like, pro levels of play, and this amount of chunk can really lead to the enemy bot lane getting dove or killed if your team is on your side of the map. And it also gives us a small advantage in our laning phase, which is what, League is all about, getting small advantages and winning off of that. So, sorry I couldn't really show you guys an example of me, like, killing the enemy bot lane. Maybe I could have gotten that window better. Also, I missed the cannon there. But, TLDR, that's how range matchups go. You know, pushing it in, keeping that push, choking the enemy team, and if you're on the receiving end of it, get levels, stay healthy, and look for all-in trades or fights back when you have spells and you can actually contest the enemy bot lane and match your conditions.